4 or 5 minutes. I am so sorry being late. I was watching a video and I didn't realize the time. I was like, oh shoot. I'm watching a video of Ben I totally respect. And not like a marching band, like the Kyoto. There's only way to do this. Let me pull it up. Let me pull it up. I want to say their name. I don't want to screw up their name. The Kyoto Tachibana High School Marching Band. They're awesome. Oh my God, they're awesome. I know there's nobody here right now. I didn't expect to see anybody because I didn't put anything up in Disney World just telling anybody I would be here today. Oh, Jordan, greetings. I didn't see you there. Pouring up here, you're not here. He goes first. How long ago he put that on there before we took off? That's what happened. Oh, get myself comfortable. Can I start? Yeah, that's no problem. As long as you're here, I don't care. I don't care how long you're here for. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. Sorry I was late. Hey, did you see um there was a Disneyland Paris. They had drones. It was like a new version of the old electrical parade, but they were using drones, which looked great. And I found out that Disney World and Disneyland want to do it. Uh, only question is, will they do it? I don't know about Disneyland because the city of Anaheim would probably have a super fit because you can easily see it from where they are. Hi, Carol. It would be great. There's a couple places you could do it. It would be great at Magic Kingdom, but if you do it at Magic Kingdom, you'd probably have to put them somewhere over what do you call it? Around Tom Sawyer Island. Epcot. If it went to Epcot and they had their version of it, you would have to put, well, of course, where fireworks usually are shut off at Epcot, and maybe just maybe Disney Springs. But we can remember that there was Greg. Greetings. Yeah, because the other one I was thinking about is because at Disney Springs a couple of years ago had the one at Christmas time. A couple of people are like, nah. Why? I mean, why? I mean, unless they can rebuild all the floats and everything for two parks instead of having one share every couple of years and the other sharing it with you. That's dumb. Stop spending money, spending billions on a boat. Come on, all that money could be allocated towards the parks. Uh, them are cruise ships and them charging way beyond what you can pay to stay on it. Ye old fart. My farts aren't old; they're new. They're newly opened every day. I was just watching the Kyoto Tachibana marching band. Uh, it was a combination of the band because I love watching those kids perform, and it was reaction. It was a reaction channel that did it. I was like, whoa, a combination of two of my favorite things. Somebody reacting to the band, which I love. I was like, that was excellent. Oh, fiddlesticks, sticks made of fiddles. So let's see. Well, that was the one thing I was going to talk about tonight was the drones. And if some of you have seen it, they do these drones may form some of the floats from the old parade. It looks like the floats are actually flying. These are showing above the that Sleeping Beauty castle over at Disneyland Paris. Hey, Jordan, if they ever build a Dark Kingdom, I could see Maleficent's castle being the main part of it. The main castle will probably be this big, tall, black thing. Um, and I could see underneath the castle what they do is they take like over Disneyland Paris, how they got the castle, the dragon under the castle. They could put a different dragon. It would be Maleficent herself in her dragon form under the castle there. That would be awesome. Disney. Yeah, that's why I happen to just watch a couple things. Oh, you want to hear something? This is I subscribe to a couple of different channels, not Disney, Transformers, and we're not talking toys here. The guy who runs the place, I know him. We were part of another place about 20 years ago. It was basically a toy site, and we were mods there for a while, and before everybody broke up from the old message board type of thing. He's reaching up there to get close to 100,000 subscribers. But today he was talking about what happened with Mary Poppins. It pissed me off. If you guys seen the stream last night, what pissed me off what they did with Mary Poppins. I couldn't believe it. He was sitting there talking about it. He put Mary Poppins up on the front cover of his Transformers page. I was like, what? Greg, he calls himself Rodimus Primal, and I know him as Joe. So, he and his wife now they moved to Florida from Jersey because Jersey was just getting too rough to too expensive. Let me put it that too expensive to stay in. What kind of rides would they have? God, that's a good question. I don't know. Just I can imagine some rides that don't exist anymore. They probably could update them a little bit. That's what I'm thinking. And plus, Disney want the cost cut. Their best bet is just to expand the parks. That's about it. That's basically they had a meeting last week to see how the company was doing, and they actually did bring up enlarging the parks, and I would love to see that, especially Hollywood Studios. They've got some room. They do have room to expand it a little bit more. I mean, I know you have to take parking spaces away and stuff. Build a garage right there in the parking lot, but that place really needs to grow a little bit more than it is right now. I'm very sure that's probably as big as Disneyland is. Yeah, well, you're talking about Ryan. That's not. It wasn't Ryan. It was the God. What is this? No, not Cybertron. I haven't been there in years. I've lost my unless I go back with a whole entire new look and stuff. My old account is still there, and I don't remember the password to get in. Plus, Ryan still runs Cybertron. That place is still kicking after all these years. We haven't been there in a long time, and everybody who was there is gone. So that's crazy. Which info you want me to send you, Greg? You gotta be more specific because I'm talking about drones. I'm talking about expansion of the parks. When we also sidetracked, if you're talking about the site we were on where I was a moderator. Studios need to, I don't know about reorganize. It just needs to be enlarged. And then they're talking about beyond Big Thunder Mountain, Epcot. How do you enlarge Epcot, which it's already big because of the lake? I wouldn't know what to do with Epcot. You could probably in Mount Fuji. Mount Fuji could finally be put in back of the Japanese pavilion. You could probably do what they were originally going to do. There was supposed to be a ride over in just by MGM and create a James Bond land. Could you imagine the different Bonds walking around in a tuxedo? And have Moneypenny walk around. That would be awesome. I don't care if you talk Bond. I love Bond. I mean, I just have never seen the newer movies, but I'm talking about like Roger Moore, and I started with Roger Moore and the Lotus. Oh my God, The Spy Who Loved Me. My first time seeing a Bond movie, period, was at a drive-in, and the thing is, we lived on the other side of that drive-in. We could see the screen from our bedroom. I remember the movie screen because it was a 8-foot fence, but. We could see the movie. We could see the screen, but at that point in time, before they went to radio, they just had the old-fashioned things you put on the speakers that you hooked up on the window. These things were made of cast iron, too heavy. Some people would drive out, forget to take them off, and drive away, and pulling the cord out and everything, destroying their window. Then they decided to use car radios. And can you imagine sitting there the whole time with your car radio? I mean, I would be. I mean, you sitting there, I'd be afraid of the car battery going dead, And if I left the car running, 2 hours or how long, whatever you're watching, I mean, to ride a car sitting there running for 2 hours just in one spot, no, I couldn't do that. 1977, The Spy Who Loved Me. Yeah, great music from the Bond movies, especially late 70s, early 80s. Can't say early, most of the 80s. Uh, the River Rhine. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The only way you can expand Epcot is to put those rides up that were originally talked about years earlier. Um, That's the only way I can see it doing with Epcot because what do? You fill in the water, make more land. I mean, how does that work? There's not much room because right outside Epcot is what the it's not World Drive. What is it? Oh, you see how much? I didn't forget. It's just that I hardly ever go those ways. If I ever do, it's if I'm hanging with Tanya. We went. And I was with Tanya one night in her car, and she goes these different areas. I'm like, wow, how you know? I said to her, wow, how you know this area? We drive by the art animation and stuff. I was like, wow. I mean, I was like a big fan of the hotels. I guess because I'm always at the parks. I'm never at the hotels to see it. I would love to see the theming in real life and vlog 'em. Yeah, Moonraker. Yeah, that was their answer to Star Wars. Uh, Scrap the pavilions. Yeah, well, that it's up to the countries. It's up to the countries if they want to do. I guess Morocco has been pulled. They actually did. I think there is no government or whatever is running or helping to run the Moroccan pavilion, and I think that's just Disney running it now. Um, Now, if you make it another, the thing is, near Germany, it would have to one of the lands would be near Germany, one of the pavilions, as it should say. But you would take away the train set, that little town with the train running, and I said, but somewhere else, that's gonna be gone. Uh, Animal Kingdom. Animal Kingdom is huge. That's just because of the space for the animals. That's the only reason why it's big. It's big, but I think that it still has more land than most, and it probably can. You probably can. I don't know what would you do to expand. You know, I guess there are 4 or 5 animals away from being called a zoo, and why they don't want to be called a zoo, I don't understand. I don't know. I don't know what the logic is there. She's 80. I didn't know, Jordan. I did not know she was still alive. On who sang 2 songs, Goldfinger. Goldfinger's a good song. And The Spy Who Loved Me. I love that song. God, I love that song. It was my first Bond um, music. Of course, it starts off, him shooting the gun and it's in the blood, and they play the James Bond theme, and I love the James Bond theme. Uh, uh, it's just only 3 of us so far. Well, there's 4. There's somebody else here besides you guys. Because I'm watching up in the corner, I can see how many people are watching. I don't know if it shows if there's ninja watchers. Well, if there is a 4th person, because there's 3 of you guys right now, if there is a 4th person watching, that could be a ninja watcher. I vote Thailand for a new pavilion. You want your wife to work there, don't you? Yeah, but the countries have to put money in towards it for it to happen. That's how it works, unfortunately. But I heard one time Russia was supposed to have some pavilion in there, but that's never going to happen. I don't know. I just don't know if any country will reach out and do it anymore. Could you imagine? Let's see. I was going to say Thailand. I'm trying to remember. Somebody said there was once a rumor a few years ago. Israel. I think Israel was considering it, then pulled out last second. I mean, you see Israel and I think Food and Wine. I'm not sure. Do they have a booth? I know they have a booth sometimes. I forgot which festival they show up at. Let's see. Due to the political situation right now, Greece. That'd be cool. Could you imagine Italy? Well, Italy. Well, they are there, but imagine. What I was going to say. Imagine them being themed to much older than they are now to the Roman Empire. That would be something. Have the place, have the. I just can't imagine what it was like then. Did they speak Italian? I know it's their native language, but in Rome, were they speaking Italian? Did they have another language? I don't know. Man, I'm saying I mean, kids grow up and they see movies. Oh, we could talk to Romans. They spoke English. No, they didn't. The Israel booth is located to the right of Morocco for the festival of the holidays. Somebody was showing the. I love the Santas. I mean, I never get there to see them in person. My favorite Santa is the barn Santa from Norway. I love that one. When he hits his stick on the thing, and the girl who's talking, she stops, whatever, and she's like in the middle of something, and he does stuff to her. I love that. The other one is the La. What is her name? The witch for in Italy. I love those. Too bad I can never see him in person. I would love to see the sing the candlelight processional. I would love to see that in person. They had Latin and Greek back during Roman times. Okay, that sounds logical. Uh, let's see. Middle East countries with a Gaza war. What? What are you talking about? Like, let's get off this. I don't want to talk about the Gaza Strip. Come on. Don't make me fall asleep. What is going on? Diablo? Spirits laying on the floor right here, and Diablo's walking around in the other room. But of course, the baby we call a baby. He just stopped growing. He's a pit bull, and doctors, well, either they're not willing to find out what's going on because they love that money coming into themselves. We took to a couple of different vets. He's having trouble walking. He has for a while now, so we have a pet bed down where he lays most of the day. And Johnny brings him out. There's no sense of walking with a well, leash. He wouldn't be able to run or anything. Let us see what we shall see. Yeah, tonight's just us guys for now. Hopefully, somebody else will be here a little bit later. Oh, Greg, did you happen to get a chance to put a link up to this and explain to them this is in big words or something? This is a live stream that's going on right now because people will just look at it and scroll by it. I'm very sure that happens. David T. David, let's talk to David. I haven't seen David T in here the last few days too. Um, David. I have no idea which. Oh, David T was. Oh, I didn't know he was here now. Yeah, I told him it's got to be a time when all three of us, can get to meet each other in person. Damn. Well, did you get a chance to see him today, or you just knew he was there? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Why is I got an edit button here? Why do I have an edit button for? I'm not gonna mess with it. Okay, because Tanya, I don't know if you met up with Tanya earlier, but I didn't watch her whole stream. I just watched it towards the end there. She had to leave early for an appointment or something. She was talking about giving the stream to Robin. I don't think Robin wanted any part of it anyway, so. Yeah, that happens all the time. When they come, it's only for one day. Oh, Make that trip all the way down. Stay here more than one day. Damn. But so I would have never been able to get there a day anyways. Stacy, Jordan, I just remember something. You remember the other day you said, when's the last time we seen each other together in person? I said maybe about a year ago when you first met Jennifer. That was wrong. It was a couple months ago when you met Stacy. Remember we had dinner that night in the what is that, the restaurant, not the 50s cafe, it was the one, it was at the 50s cafe, yeah, the 50, it was it yeah, the one over at Epcot. No, Epcot, uh, Hollywood Studios. Why did I say Epcot? That's because I was looking at your post. I went to Epcot for Ride of Guardians and the last day of Soarin' over oh god, thank god that thing's going away. I want ours back, and it's Leaning Tower too. I want it back. I'm sorry. No, Jordan. It has been a year. We the time at time when you first met with her, you call you we that was different. It was a different time because I've only met her in person. That, believe it or not, that one day. That day we all hung out and stuff. That was the same day, and was this what it was 50's Primetime Cafe. We had dinner and I had myself a Caesar salad. You sat right across from Stacy. There was Stacy's sister and her sister's boyfriend. That was earlier. That had to be within the last 6 to 8 months ago. That's when we last seen each other. They had no. They had the. No way! Already? I gotta go. Where am I tomorrow? Hmm. I'm not that far away from the Target where my closest Target. It's like a 5 minute drive from there. I got to work another Publix in my area. I got two right in this area here, which is both of them are not even 5 minute rides from each other. Yeah, I got to go check that tomorrow. I didn't know it was out already. Until you said it, I didn't know it was out. Uh, Jordan, I have to learn how to get because I would love to talk news with everybody, but I would love to have it like on the screen where everybody could see it. That's another thing we have to do is figure out how to do that. Uh, how much was it, Greg? I'm just curious. I think the other one was trying to remember. The other one's from that show Stranger Things. Carol, are you still with us? Wake up. Come talk to us. Yeah, you probably did, but I was just curious how much was it? Okay. I, any questions besides basic questions? I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just asking. La di dee, la di dee, la di dee, la di dee. Mm, mm. I wonder if this microphone. I got a micro. It does mute. Oh, I have a mute button right here. Ooh, ooh. No, I'd never do that. I've got to make a vlog for the mod and admin area. Explain what happened to my phone the other day. My old phone takes the red. I got two versions of me: the original blue color and my red version. And it's a long story. It's weird how both. It was like the phone was an amoeba and broke up. And the new phone has my old group, my original Facebook page, and the red one has the new one I made up months ago. It was a backup plan just in case I went to. I was thrown into Facebook jail again. Just sat there and sat there. I mean, there's a couple videos on it. I mean, I would have if you guys ever come, people I have friended from that account. If you ever see it, you see my place. It's like it's sitting in its own little thing away from everybody. That's because I don't have 1,400 friends on it like I do my original. Oh, so the one you've seen today was a Stranger Things crossover, not the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. That's because it's the other one. Stranger Things has like a pizza box that comes in. See, I've never seen Stranger Things, but I didn't. But I did like that. Marianne, girl, greetings. You came in last night and you took off. What happened? You scared? If we don't bite, well, maybe Greg does, but I like her username, Abel's Funhouse. Happy joy. I gotta ride Guardians again. I gotta ride Tron again. I gotta get more practice on them so I can feel more comfortable. The more I ride it, the more I'll feel comfortable. No baby shark. I'll smack somebody. La dee dee, la dee dee. But Greg, no baby shark. But, how about a baby shark decon? Yes. La dee dee, la dee dee. Mike, greetings, sir. Good to see you. Yeah, we were. Well, I was talking about. I'm trying to do my. I don't mind me tonight. I'm just in a funky mood. Yeah, we were talking about expanding the parks and stuff, and we got sidetracked. Um, let me see. If there's a couple things I've heard about Magic Kingdom, it could be the Encanto Land, it could be the dark, the the Dark Kingdom type of land, or it could be like Coco, themed to Coco. But also, I've heard talk about putting making what we know as Frontierland now into the new New Orleans Square for Disney World, and um, have Frontierland basically moved to being back of Big Thunder. That's something I heard. I don't, it's just I only heard that. I mean, it's not in. No, I don't think it's going to happen. Then there was once I heard a rumor years ago. Of course, this is one I've never heard. They were talking about putting a volcano in Adventureland and have it themed to Moana. Could you imagine putting a volcano? Probably make it look like the Matterhorn or a little bit, but it would have to be a volcano. That's an idea for a ride right there. You would make a theme to Moana. It would be the same. It would be like a brand new version of Matterhorn, but it wouldn't be no snow in it or anything. It would be a volcano with lava and everything. And I don't know what kind of monster could live in there, but I'm thinking of the characters from Moana. There would be nothing in there except that giant crab thing or whatever he was. Because everything was shiny. Put him at the very bottom, like the dragon over Disneyland Paris. That would be something. You're going over them, or here's another one. Indiana Jones. They're talking about bringing Indiana Jones because of the dinosaur ray. What if they made a roller coaster similar to Temple of Doom? At the end, there, remember the roller coaster basically ride they went into. It was basically the mines underneath. To get to. They were trying to find the Sankara stones. I said something to you on Messenger. Yeah, I did see it last night. Uh, but let's talk about that there. Let's not talk about here because number one, Gail's not here. Oh, I've been up for half an hour. Hmm. Mm-mm. I think Jordan might be gone from now. For now. Jordan, if you're still here, are you taking Pear to dinner? Or are you going to cook for her? Hmm. I don't even know if you'll know how to cook. If you did, you never told me. La-dee-dee, la-dee-dee. Yeah, I can cook. Put something in and nuke it in a TV dinner and just nuke it. That's it. That's all I know how to do. Come on, people. Anybody questions? Just any question. Any question. Let's talk about something. If you guys want to talk about something, put it out there. Let's talk. Toot, toot. Just about have dinner. Okay, kind sir, I do appreciate you being here, and I know you probably have, of course, you will want to go because you're dead up hungry. I'm like, yeah, I can never eat dinner this late. This is late. Well, when I'm at Disney, that's different. We got reservations for like 7 o'clock, so well, whenever I go with Stacy, she always makes reservations. Do 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 do. Yeah, because we went to the Rose and Crown last time we were there last month. Yeah, and that's when I told you I had a peanut butter jelly sandwich in a British tavern. So just about the ham dinner. That was very. How did he put it? That was very foolish, Mr. Bond. I don't know if you can hear that. Hello. The dog's looking at me like, what the hell? That's me. Get him, Spirit. Go get him. Go on. Go get him. Get him. What's this thing? No, get your ass out. He's under my desk. Get your. He's big. He's like it's like having a bull in a china shop. It seriously is big. He's big. And my collection's like all over the place. So he has done it. Jordan, good evening. Yeah, if you get a chance to come back on later, I'm probably gonna stay on to maybe 9 o'clock ish. If you want to come on before then, if you have nothing to do, come on by. I plan on staying on that long. If it starts to die, I can't control what time I'm keeping this on. Mm. Yeah, there he goes. Spirit. There, look, he turn around. That's him. Spirit, come here. What are you doing? Get your butt over here. I love messing with that dog. He's our oldest dog. We have had him since he was a puppy. Yeah, we've got him. He had that big bulbous. You guys have had puppies. He had a big bulbous stomach. I got pictures of him when he was a puppy. And am I going to get him now? No. Because I don't feel like doing that. Let's talk some Disney. Let's see. Let's see. We talked about the drones. That'd be cool if they could do that with the drones. So could you imagine? You would probably have the drones like hovering up near the castle. I'm not sure how they would do that, but they do. They were asking the Disney, both, as I said, both presidents of Disneyland and Disney World asked the president over at Disneyland Paris how they do it, and supposedly they talked, but nothing's come up with it. But that'd be so awesome if they could do it. I heard it took them $250,000 to do it over in France. Imagine that. I'm not sure if that's. You see, that would have to be a different show too. It can't be happily ever after. Um, yeah, happily ever after would have to be its own thing. I would do this like either probably leading up to it, so everybody would be sitting there waiting for happily ever after to go off after this sky parade. David T, greetings. This is a test, only a test. If it was a real emergency, you would be directed to tune in for proper information pertaining to your area and emergency procedures. uh, the one, Marion, the one he is here. That's Spirit. Our other dog in the living room, he's seen trotting his fat ass in the living room. Yeah, our other dog is Spirit, Diablo. His name, what was his name when we first got him? I forgot his name. He had another name, it just didn't fit him because he was if the word Diablo, if you know what that means. Let's see, how many people are 5? Nice. David T was at the parks today. David T, did you run into Tanya live streaming at Magic Kingdom? Or were you, I think George said you were at Epcot? Too bad. Come out with Tanya. Yeah, I know. One day. You're doing the one day thing. Come to Disney. Stay more than one day. Please, Eddie. Please. Oh, here's a question for you guys. Who is it? I mean, I'm not gonna ask for your favorite character. I'm gonna ask for your least favorite character. My least favorite is Stitch. I am not a fan of Stitch. Just right above him, if it wasn't for Stitch, it would be Roger Rabbit. I am not a fan of Roger Rabbit. In the movie, yeah, there was nothing the matter with him because I like him in the movie, but I can't. I just don't. When he was walking around the parks back in the early '90s, it was like, get rid of him. Number one, he should have been he looked to me a little more like he should have been with the Looney Tunes, instead of a Disney character. But how Disney took care, I don't know how. I'm trying to figure out how Disney got the rights for him this character when they could have shared him with Warner Brothers and have seen him walking around in different Warner Brothers studio type of thing. Yes, I was never a fan of that. I mean, you could see him I don't know. You see Bugs Bunny in there and stuff, but you never see Roger Rabbit or Bugs Bunny. But the best scene in the whole movie is when he's falling. What's his name's falling? Eddie is falling, and all of a sudden here's Mickey and Bugs Bunny. I mean, now I think my mouth just grabbed to the ground when I say, "Who in a lifetime would you ever think you'd see a cartoon with all these characters in one cartoon?" Right now, if they redid that, it would have to be CGI characters. How else would you do it? We have friends who are in Disney World right now. They are the parents of the young lady who got married on Castaway Cay in December. Do you remember that time of September? A little tiny island, so tiny. I mean, you could take a small town, and the small town will way bigger than this little tiny island. It could be a small town of 50 people; it would still be bigger than this little island. Yeah, I'm not a fan of. I know it's Disney owned. I just not a fan of it. I just don't like the idea of thinking myself on a cruise. And somebody showed this picture of a cruise ship, not laying on its side, but leaning. And oh God, no, I can't. I couldn't. I just could never get on the water. I didn't even know how to swim either. Quick fly and EK is pronounced key. Oh, okay. Like in the Japanese band I watched, the Kyoto. It's spelled KY, and it basically Kyoto. Jordan taught me that, and I watched. They're a marching band to high school. The earliest videos of them go back to 2012. Then the Rose Parade, Tournament of Roses Parade. Well, they were invited to two Tournament Roses Parade. I never knew this because I don't watch the parade. I've never been a fan of the Tournament of Roses. I always found it lame. I mean, after you being a kid and stuff, you just watch, and about a month ago, you just watched the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Giant balloons, everything. And all of a sudden it comes up with this little one, and it's like, I can't say marching bands. I can't, because the Touch Bunny, most of the kids in the band, still to this day, are mostly female. I love it. I just love it. It's just to watch these kids in this band, it seems impossible. If some of you don't know what I'm doing, what I'm talking about, David T. If you don't know what I'm talking about, when you get a chance, go to Jordan's Facebook page, and it's still on the cover of it. I got them. They were doing something for charity. I guess it was charity. I have no idea if it was charity, but their theme song is "Sing Sing Sing" from that old song from way back in the day. What was his name? Oh God, I'm trying to remember the guy who it was. This was the old big band era. What's his name? Yeah, see, happens every time. I'm sitting here trying to come up with, okay, what's up? What's up? Amblin Entertainment was the issue. Oh, for Roger Rabbit? What does Amblin have to do with Roger Rabbit? Because you had to have Warner Brothers, who controls, the Looney Tunes. I'm not sure. Woody Woodpecker, Walter Lantz. I think it's Walter Lantz Company, because he wasn't a small part of it. Droopy the dog. Didn't well. I don't think Boris and Natasha were. I have Bullwinkle. Imagine Bullwinkle and Rocky in that. That would have been great. Bahamian Key. Well, should be spelt with like Key instead of K. I swear to God, I've seen videos where people actually do call it K, not Key. Ooh, let's see. I'm thinking of something else we can talk about, which is not old. Come on, people, throw something out there. Let me know what you want to talk about. Throw any subject out there. Greg, not Transformers right now. There's too many Disney people in here. You found the Mickey Transformer. Wait, okay, well, I back up on it. Go back to what I'm saying. But there's an exception. Let's bring up the Mickey and Donald Transformers. What do you mean you found the Mickey Transformer? Well, online or something? Some do say K, but there are actually saying it improperly. Okay, that's where I learned it from. Or was from them, because you're the first person to actually tell me it's key, not K. Or as I say, Ote. I wonder. David T. You missed it last night. It pissed me off what they did with Mary Poppins, and the story goes that because the now I understand it more. What happened is the part when they come down the chimney and they're all I hate to say it blackface because they got so all of themselves, and somebody called them the Hottentots. And that was a bad thing. They're doing this in England, not here as of yet. It I can imagine stuff going out in DVD and stuff, and them like taking that part out or just blurring it out. I mean, come on, Hottentots, please. Walt Disney himself oversaw this movie. Okay, all of a sudden, they've got to come up one day where you can't say a damn thing. You're supposed to be diverse and stuff. You accept other cultures' different sayings. You don't put them down for it. Oh, I would not. No, not me. Just and number one, they're way expensive. I'd rather spend the money if I could on a hotel because I wouldn't mind staying on property at least one time in my life, and driving home the next morning instead of driving overnight. But it's that money that drives me crazy. I just cannot see paying that much money for a one night stay. I mean, I know some of the hotels are cheaper, like maybe $80 a night, if lucky to hear some of them, that are like that. It's off property. I just couldn't. Um, don't mind me. I'm just reading the chat here. Um, uh, Go find your vault, please. Make sure it was the. Huh? Oh, I see what's going on. Okay. And I'm back. Yeah. See, as I said, I wouldn't do it. I'm sorry. I would never get on a cruise ship. I'm sorry. Plus, you're stuck. You're stuck in that little tiny city for what, 5 days in the middle of the ocean. A rogue wave will hit. 100 foot rogue wave will hit, and I'm like, no. And that's another thing I think of: rogue waves. A plane's different. I've only been on a plane twice. Twice, I mean going back home to Connecticut. A week later, coming back here from Connecticut twice. That's my claim to fame for something like that. Otherwise, we landed in LaGuardia Airport and took off from LaGuardia when we came back. Yeah, I headed to Connecticut. Well, I went with my brother and his wife, and her father picked us up. At that point in time, he's still in Connecticut. They moved down here after they sold the house, and he passed away. I want to say a couple of years after my father passed, something like that. I remember it was the only time ever in my life I went by Shea Stadium, and I'm not a Met fan. Mm-hmm. The only cruise line in the world licensed to shoot fireworks at sea. That's different. Reminds me, it just reminds me part of Titanic when they they seen the flares go up, but I guess they thought it might have been fireworks, and it was just people having fun on a brand new cruise ship. That's why some of the other ships never showed up. Um, but there was always this mystery ship that sat out there and watched, and nobody knows. It was never, to this day. It's never been. You know. It's so weird. This will sound like something from the Twilight Zone. Could you imagine it was a ship from the future that had time travel, and they were probably sitting there watching the Titanic go down. Come on. It's only $100 per person. Come on, we'll take you back in time and watch the Titanic sink. And I'm like, oh my god, could you imagine that? Ooh, oh, thank you. What we'll do is we'll pick them out of the water, revive the survivors, and they can live in the future with us. Okay. But no, they retrieve the bodies. Okay. I must have this at the edge. Huh. I know who this goes to. I'm trying to figure out what I could do with it. Cha cha. Belongs to. Where did I put those figures? Oh god, it's been a while. Good evening. The name's Bond. James Bond. Last night we were talking back and forth. Tonight we're like slowed down. Um, every time I say I got a theme, I like the theme, but it doesn't happen to work out that way. Give me 1 second. Let me take a look. You guys will still see my face, but I'll be on another window looking at stuff. No, can't do that. I wish I could show you guys some of the screens with the news and stuff, but it doesn't happen to be that way. Because I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to work this thing. I want to go ship a company. No, Disney. Let's see. Disney World is no. YouTube, no. Let's see. Where did you go? Where in the wide, wide world of sports did you go? Greg, I'm going to pre-approve you, meaning when you put those when you put the or if you let's put it this way, anything you post, if you're pre-approved, anything you post, you can put on without again permission to do it. But don't post anything stupid, or obviously I don't want to take it away from anybody. I'm just doing this. Just I mean, the only thing is, it's just be careful with the language when you're talking to others, especially nowadays. God, you don't know when you're gonna run into babies. Where you talking to me? You call me a Hottentot. Where? Okay, you're pre-approved, meaning next time you post one of the videos that the links to this video, which you did, I just approved. You can do it by yourself without getting pre-approved. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Well, I'm just saying, it's just a picture of me. Let's see. Boom. No. Let's see. I think you would like to stay at Pop Century. Let me see. I'm trying to figure out where in Pop Century would I like to stay. One place where I like to stay, All Star Movies, Herbie the Love Bug. I want to get over there. I really would like to visit the resorts and do vlogs on them. Take pictures. Just it's hotels. Hotels get me excited. It almost be like being in the park. It, I just love the theming. Mm-hmm. You stayed in Pop Century. What part did you stay in? I just don't know where. Little Mermaid. What I didn't. It doesn't really matter. Um, The Lion King. Oh, I love that. I love the large statues of the 101 Dalmatians. The Pongo, I think his name was. And then you got Mowgli and Blue, Ariel, King Triton. God, that would be so awesome. Yeah, because that's the biggest thing I wish I could do right now is just get like video and just to be there, just to be there. Pre-art of animation. Yeah, there was. Yeah, what was it? They had. They started. Oh, you want to hear something? This reminds me of what was it? It was the hotels. With the ones that did. What's the name of the hotels that do the time have the 80s and 70s? I forgot the name of it. Is that part Pop Century? It has to be. Yeah. No, there's a fire station there. We had down the street. There was a fire station. Mind you, I'm saying was. They closed it down, and they were building brand new, sparkling one. So all of a sudden, in the middle of building it, they stopped the construction. I drove down there. I was coming back from work, so I drove by there, and I was looking at it. It's been almost a year since they were last doing construction. The place is boarded up. Parts of it is actually been weathered after a year, where parts of this fire station are breaking and falling to the ground. This thing is totally brand new. They built the exterior. You could see the garages there for the fire, for the engines and the paramedics. It's a mess. They didn't. I guess they didn't have the money to finish building, so we'll never have a fire engine, a fire station in this area again. And that's what I love about the value. That's exactly where I would stay if I was going to stay in property, because it's the cheapest in their own ways. Yeah, that's the thing. I try to spend a whole day. See, how do I justify not going to a park? I love going to the parks. I love to hit the rides, but I like to hit 2 or 3 parks in a day. But how do I get up? The only thing I could do is get there in the morning for rope drop, hit one of the parks, then leave the parks for a couple hours to go to a couple of the resorts, stay at a couple of resorts for a couple of, then go back during the afternoon and do like, say I in the morning I could hit Magic Kingdom, then I'll leave, go to a couple of resorts, come back, do Epcot, and probably after that go to Pop Century and stuff, and take the Skyliner over to Hollywood Studios. I mean, I could do it like that, and probably finish the day at Magic Kingdom because everybody else closes earlier than Magic. So, or it doesn't even have to be that. I could go to I could leave. I could leave from there and go to Disney Springs. That would be a full day. The only park I won't hit is Animal Kingdom. I would do three out of the 4 parks, a couple of the hotels, and I could probably, like, say the next time I come after that, because I come once a month, I could do it again, but with different hotels I didn't see. As I said, I would like to stream, not stream. I might stream. I would just stream those areas because I've said I don't want to do an 8-hour video and stuff like Tanya does. I'd rather just stream for maybe an hour or so or whatever I'm doing, and go off and come back later and start another stream. That's how I would do it. I wanted to be different from the rest of it. That's how I want to do it. I remember that our animation would have been cool if they went through the plan. Yeah. Let me see. Have you guys, or would you guys ever take the tours that cost over $100, like the one that takes you backstage at Magic Kingdom, shows you the utilities. What is key to the Kingdom tour? Is that what it's called? That would be awesome, but you can't take pictures or video. You would have to go over everything by memory. You actually get to go into the utilidors, not the whole entire thing, but still. I'd like to see the subway they get to eat out. Oh yeah, because there's a subway down there. And to me, Subway right now nowadays has gone up, way up in prices. That's why I usually hit Wawa's. Yeah, it's Keys to the Kingdom. Yep. Oh, another thing I would like to do is try to get one of the boats with friends, and I think it's $30 a person. And if we can get like enough people together, we can get our own boat, and we'd have a guide tour out there, and he'd take us, through 7 seas up to Bay Lake, and tell us different stories. Not only that, we get to watch Happily Ever After on the boat. I would love to do that. I was thinking about doing that a couple of years ago for my birthday. I think it was before COVID, and that kind of ruined everything because I wanted to do something like that. I would love it. I'd love to do something like that with you guys, with any of you guys. Get Jordan to come along. I know Jordan would come along. I remember David from Fresh Baked when he was down here about a year ago. Him and his wife came. Uh, his first time hitting Disney World in 30 years, and he in the vlog because Adam the Woo showed up and he was in the video with him. He goes to the did I tell you I love Magic Kingdom? And this is from a lifetime Disneyland, big Disneyland fan. That's his own park. Mine just became this because I never hit Disneyland. We never hit the West Coast, and was my first place I ever hit when I was a kid. Of course, we hit other parks up in the Northeast, like Six Flags Great Adventure. It's just that Magic Kingdom was the very first park we hit. That was Disney. I wonder how they must have thought over there in California when Disney World was starting to expand. All of a sudden, here's Epcot. They got two parks. We only have one. Oh no, we got another place. It's called Hollywood Studios. And by the time Animal Kingdom came around, they were probably like, we're way behind. And that's where they decided, oh, let's make DCA. Let's make it something all about California in California. It's like, why did you do that? Rumor has it that they did not want to put a New Orleans square here in this area because it's too close to New Orleans. That's why we have the Liberty, Liberty Square. Somebody came up with a great idea. Taking the presidents out of the Hall of Presidents, and just have it like, if you guys remember. Now I know no none of us have seen this. They too when Magic Kingdom got the Carousel of Progress from Disneyland, they still have the ride building, and they made it, and it's still rotated, but they made it with animals and an eagle with the red, white, and blue hat on, and it was basically it was all about, it was patriotic music and stuff, and that's what it was all about. And if somebody says bring that back, instead of having the president on stage, you would have them on stage. I wouldn't mind that. Keep Abe Lincoln though. Have our own. He does do the show from the what is it called? The show with Mr. Lincoln. Moments with Mr. Lincoln. We still can do that because we still do it anyway. He's the first one to get up and he has that speech. I didn't go in it. I did not go in it. I haven't been in it since Trump. I only went once, and what I remember about that. Somebody screaming at the animatronic, and people turning, dude. It's an animatronic. You're not talking to a real person here. When I went in, security. They had security in there from both sides of the entrance and exit. Oh, they were there to take anybody out. Anybody started trouble. But the Hall of Presidents was just the place where they put the presidents, and only a few of them spoke. Now they decided to change that, I guess, after Nixon or after Ford. I forgot when, but they changed it to have the current new president speak, and that's why that's. No, David, it wasn't. Darn, I forgot to tell you after all these years. I kept that secret to myself. Spirit. Hey, the dog's where he's sitting here right now. When I call his name, he watch my eyes. He's like looking over. That's all he's doing, eyeballing me. David, you nut. Yeah, I keep Abe Lincoln with that. It's cool. They got the curtain set, so he's covered. When he stands up, he speaks, and then he sits back down. Then the curtains draw, and then when it reopen again, the curtains he was behind are gone, and he's with the rest of the presidents. I wouldn't have minded if they had just the presidents and not the new ones talking, and they would just put them in a, because you can't do it nowadays. Everybody's so divided nowadays. You can't do that. And the rumor was going around that Trump animatronic was Hillary. And of course, they jumped the gun because everybody thought Hillary is going to win. It's like, you're all stupid, aren't you? I mean, there was no proof that she was going to win. And that was a rumor that they had to rebuild it from Hillary Clinton. And part of the Trump hairstyle was her hairstyle. uh, I'm sorry, but this is what I said when I put Mr. Into it. Instead of us making a speech like he's got in there now, let's put it this way: the current moron in charge. Um, it was more like it should have been like this. Instead of trying to make a speech, trying to speak, he should have been like speaking like this. Duh, 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 duh. That should have been a speech. People are like, oh, he doesn't like us. And well, life's a bitch. It's called having your own opinion. You're still allowed it, even though you push it on top of us. Sorry, that's the way it is. Huh. Let me see. Anything else I've heard of? I have this feeling. I think I've said this the other day. I have this feeling we're going to see Country Bears reopening the same week as Splash Mountain. No, it's gonna be weird because if they do make the whole area like a New Orleans Square type of thing, Big Thunder Mountain is gonna sit out there by itself. It'll be like it's alienated. Another thing they could do stuff on, if they want to. I mean, I, I'm trying to say is years ago when I would want quiet, and I was in the park and I didn't feel like leaving the park to get quiet, I would go to the smoking section. I didn't care. The smoke didn't kill me. It didn't bother me. Um, Greg, you know what I'm talking about. The current idiot in charge, as I said, who did not win fair and square. Uh, what was I talking about? No, I hate that. Yeah, um, Tom Sawyer Island. And that's what I started with. Yeah, it was a world where Tron is now. It was the train would come through from the station, and oh, I loved it in that area. I would stay there for maybe an hour or two just to get away from the crowds and stuff because nobody would know because people are nowadays. You smoke, get away from me, you dirty bastard. Um, it doesn't bother me if they smoke. It doesn't. I mean, the smoke, it doesn't bother me. That's me though. But the only place you can go nowadays is Tom Sawyer Island to get away from it all. I mean, I always say, I always screw up with that. It's supposed to be Tom Sawyer Island. I go Ireland, and one the other day I said Ireland. Yeah, that's one place I'm going to either probably vlog from the next time I go from either vlog or probably a vlog and live stream going over there to the island and leaving, but in the middle I'll probably do a vlog. I have no clue what you're talking about, so I'm going to leave that subject alone and stay away from it. Let's see. Let's see. Let's move away from there. Peter Pan. Oh, I'm very surprised Peter Pan's the Indian scene is still there. Very surprised that's still there. I wonder how long it's going to be before everybody starts complaining about that. It's like You talk to, like for instance, what's coming to my mind is what happened recently in the last few years, where the Redskins changed their name to, I don't remember. It's because I'm not a football fan. I hardly, but when I heard it, and like the Indians became cowards, and thank God the Braves have not become cowards, because I have seen videos where the American Indian people themselves weren't offended. If they were offended, why are you as a white person offended? Oh, I hate myself. I hate myself. Oh, look at that white skin. I hate myself. Every time with that. And that's become this now. It's like they followed me here. I got away from all that after Trump won. I just got away from it because everybody was turning against me and calling me racist, sexist, whatever s they could put there. Why? Because I voted for a certain person? You can't go judging people like that. I don't consider everybody a liberal who doesn't like, a president you voted for. It's just, I mean, I can, if you, it's just dumb. Bottleneck, where the Hall of Mansion, yeah, they got to do something there. They, ooh, a couple years ago, it was a couple years ago. I remember hitting there, the Haunted Mansion. This is before the Hattie came in. Because Hattie just came in November, no, December 5th. It was Walt's birthday. It was the same day the Walt statue came up over at Epcot. What happened is the line went the normal queue. They actually went down to the queues of one of the old boats. I forgot the names of the boats that they used to, the keel boats, the Mike Keel boats or something like that, where they used to load. It's still there. So they used that. You went down, you went back up the ramp and stuff, and it would come out, and then next thing you know, you're going all the way almost to Splash Mountain. And I remember one day you had two people standing near each other. Splash Mountain and Haunted Mansion. Those were the. I mean, it was starting to. Splash Mountain was almost going past the line for Haunted Mansion. I was like, whoa. I remember telling one of the cast members who were there, says, "You better be careful. Haunted Mansion is headed this way." uh, she goes, it's happened before. I was like, wow, that's crazy. Mike, come back. Come back and speak. You can speak, dude. Say what you want to say. Do what you want to do. For some reason, I'm not sure if Magic Kingdom. I don't think it did from pictures I've seen. I remember when I was a kid, when we first came. Now check this out. Um, we were there that day. We used up whatever, I can't say all our money because we still have money for hotels and food and stuff. This is back when I was 9 years old, 1975. What I remember about that day is, yeah, there was no, fast pass didn't exist. No annual pass holders. When you went in, you bought, the tickets. And this guy was mad at his kids. And for some reason, I remember a fountain. I think it was a fountain, and we were all sitting around it, and it's gone now. The thing is, I just remember there being a fountain there, and I don't remember why. Because from pictures I've seen, of course, nowadays you don't see it anywhere. So I remember this guy getting mad at his kids. Something must have happened. I didn't know what was going on. They were a little bit younger than me, and he turns to me and gives me his tickets. I had his tickets. In the little booklet, remember he had the E-ticket and everything in there? A, B, C, and E. My mother, oh, we got more tickets. The guy next to us just gave it to him. My mother says, No, we're leaving. I was like, oh, we got tickets here we could use. I remember having those tickets. My mother had like a drawer and stuff. She kept all her stuff in, and one day she threw them out. I would love to have those tickets nowadays. That was so cool. I've heard of stories of people got tickets back in the day, and Disney still honors them. That's crazy. That's one thing I never did. Mike Fink killed boats. Yep, and there's still one of them that sits over. It's docked off the side of the off the island. I think Mike has left us. I'm sorry, Mike. I didn't scare you away. Now, usually when people leave, it's either they're doing another, watching another stream or something like that. That's the way I look at it. What time is it? It is only 8:20. Nice, 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 nice. Greg, have you ever been on that Finding Nemo ride? I think the most annoying thing to me in that one ride, nice little ride too, is they were looking for Nemo, and and to me, he's in the background laughing like, they can't find me. I'm like, at that point in time, I get ticked off. I'm like, what the hell? You stare there all nervous and looking for me, sitting there laughing. I'm like, who thought of this stupid idea? Because if that had been reality, I'd have been like, you're dead. I've been looking over for you and you're laughing at me. And being a parent, I've heard people. Well, my father would he did. My mother would be pissed off. Oh my God, she would have been super pissed off. Of course, they're spending their time getting word, looking for you. You know, mine, 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 mine. They shut those guys off for a while and they came back with them. I missed the what Adam the Woo named John Burley. Now he still is at Disneyland, and I think Justin Scard calls him Jimberly. And if you know what I'm talking about, which I don't know if most of you think, it's the Indian that sat in front of the tobacco stores that used to be in both parks. What in the world? What is up with that number, David T? Uh, yeah, a couple years ago, it's 2017. I remember going in the park thinking they're probably refurbishing back up because after a couple years, he just looked like he's worn out. I was in a wooden Indian in I'm not sure if we had two. I know Jefferly. There's two in Disneyland. I don't know if Jefferly is still there. He's over in Frontierland, but Jimberly, I do still see in some streams coming from Disneyland. That blew my mind. It's like they still have it. I thought I thought that state, which is controlled by another party of people, would have said, "Get that thing out of here. It's racist." No, let's get rid of a mountain that had cartoon characters in it, and there was no people in it, and it belonged. Why? Because it belonged to a story that was made up by a person who's not white. That's my take on it. I'm sorry. It seems like when I start to run out of things, I have nothing to say good. Nothing to say good. Oh wow, down to one person. Who's here? Who's not mine? It's nine. Yes, 9 trillion. Is that nine? It's supposed to be 9 trillion. I can't go any further. I don't know. And why would you have to kick me in the nuts? I can imagine myself being on the ground going, oh. Like, I don't like the retheme. So what the hell are you kicking me for? I wasn't responsible for that. I don't know what to say about anything. Oh, because mine sounds like 9. Well, yeah, well, there's a difference with my 9 and that 9. They're like mine. Mine is this 999. I'm sorry. Ah, 99999. Yeah, but when I didn't see them when I was like, that one made me thought of John Burley. It was like, did they take him out like they did John Burley? Because we never seen John Burley after that again. Uh, camaraderie. Oh, yeah, no, 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 no. Well, this ain't the Soviet Union, so I'm not nobody's comrade. I'm the clan. Yeah, yeah, boy, yeah. If this future I'm thinking of becomes a lot worse than it is now, I can't imagine. I'd be like, I'm glad I'm at the age I am where I can remember good old times. To me, the good old times was the 1980s. But Disney, I would watch videos in Disney in the 80s. Oh, that just, it wasn't a good fit. That's why, what happened is when they hired um, not Bob Iger, Eisner to take over, they were in debt. They were losing money. And that's when Eisner's his idea, which is still in the parks nowadays, let's mark everything up. You're here, they're losing money. He decided to mark everything up, and when that happened, people were starting to pay because they wanted the item so bad they didn't care how much they paid for them. That's what the problem is nowadays. Nobody seems to. This is why we can't get fast pass ever again. People are willing to pay for the lightning lane, and as long as they're willing to pay, we're never going to see fast pass ever again. Did I mute Greg? No, Greg's here. He's right there. He's right in front of you. Les, he says, good, good. One less person to need to wait for. What was that? Now, Greg's not mute, so I haven't touched the mute button. I'm looking at the mute button right here, and it's when you push mute, it has that connects on it, but there's nothing there. Plus, you can hear me, so unless I do see. Yeah, but his last post is right here. Something about the Nemo Living Seas. I hate the Nemo Living Seas. He's not about the front of the park look. Love the Frozen ride of issue is just a little bit longer. I miss. I really do. I can't say as badly as some other things, but I do miss the Great Movie Ride. I said it before. I wish they were just. He says, I'm kidding. You put a muted face up and it was on and you missed it. I must have. Because I don't see any faces. Carol. Oh my God. Carol, are you still here? She said hello to us before, and I'm just thinking about it right now. She's gonna call me up tomorrow. Says, "How come you didn't hear me?" And I'm like, "How come you're not talking to me?" It's because I'm reading other people's chats. She gets mad. She does. She gets, but it's not a real mad where she like, get out of my house. I hate you forever. No, it's not like that. We always play around with each other. So you should see my brother Tormentor. That's hysterical when you get these two together. Everybody's like, me, I'm not the bad one. All right, David T, thank you. Thank you for being here. If you don't see us on, well, it's probably because everybody's gone. See you later, alligator. In a while, crocodile. All right, robot roll call. Who's left besides me and Greg? Mike, are you here? Carol, are you here? Aaron Murphy. Hello. We have a new person. Nice. Greetings. I'm Dan, aka on my Facebook group as Disney Worlders. Welcome. Yeah, we were talking. What we usually do is talk Disney. We do get sidetracked sometimes to talk other stuff. Yeah, earlier today was when I first started. We were. Now I can't remember what I was talking about. I remember there's. I'm not sure if you heard with what's going on in some of the parks. It's nice to meet you too. Um, it's crazy from what you see. If you see me looking the other way, the chat. I'm. This is the. I'm. That's where the chat is on my from my point of view. So if you see me looking down, it's because of that. Um, Otherwise, let's see. We were talking about. Oh God, I totally forgot. It's about an hour and a half ago. We were talking about something. Day alias Greg. I don't even remember what I was talking about an hour and a half ago. um. Yeah, we talk about different things. We talk about like the news, sometimes the news of the day, but with some of the news, some news actually I didn't see till today, anyways. Different things, in like drone. That's what we were referring to. It was the drones. They're talking about not having an electrical parade anymore. The Disneyland Paris. I'm not sure if you've ever seen the video, but they use drones now, and they have the drone shaped like some of the old floats from the old electrical parade, and they're floating. I mean, you should see them flying over the Disneyland Paris Castle, the Sleeping Beauty Castle over there, and it's awesome because it looks like they took the old. That's how their drones are forming it, like they were the old, original floats, and they're flying. And the Disney World and Disneyland park presidents were really, really into it, and they were talking to the Disneyland park president, and it's oh my god, it would be so awesome, especially bring it to Magic Kingdom. I mean, the question is, what would you do? Did you like the old days with the electric parade being before the fireworks or after the fireworks? I don't know. I would love to see that. It'll probably if they do it afterwards, I'd probably keep the people in the park a little bit longer than everybody charging out of Magic Kingdom and you're standing. Oh God, I've been against that wave of people. You're trying to get back to the castle, and they're just pushing. They leave the park. It's like, oh my God. I remember going. We we were a friend of mine and her niece. We were in the queue to go to Tron, the virtual queue. So as soon as Happily Ever After was done, she goes to me, "It's our turn." I was like, "Oh, smack!" So I followed them, but eventually we started going farther and farther apart, and I kept on getting cut by all these teenagers and everything. Next thing I know, I feel somebody grab my arm. She yanked me out of that crowd. That was crazy. Um, and that night, I mean, I don't know if you've been on it, but that was my so far. It's my only time. The other time I was going to go on was with her and some other friends, but I got sick because I had something I shouldn't have had. I'm on a sodium low sodium diet. I had a muscle in my heart that doesn't work real well, and the doctors put me on this low sodium diet. I've been on it for over a year now. Lost 60 pounds. So if I had gone on Tron the last time, I wouldn't have looked. It wouldn't have been nice for anybody who was near me. Oh God. uh, Do you know what Winnie the Pooh said? Think you should think. I can never think. I think too hard sometimes. To be talking. Yeah, that's something. I guess they were both invited to go see the fireworks there or something like that. I'm not sure how the story went, but they both got to see it, which was crazy. But they were talking about the kid Braden, Mouse Chat. He was talking about it. Um, yeah, they would have to do it over a body of water, I guess. I don't know why, because there's no fireworks involved with it, and I just don't know, understand why he brought that up. It's the bodies of water could be over at Epcot where they already do fireworks show. I'm thinking if you're going to bring in the Kingdom and you for some reason need body of water, just the rivers of America, or bring it over to Disney Springs. There's a body of water right there, and they've already done a show there Christmas a couple of years ago with the drones. I remember them forming a Christmas tree amongst other things. Let's see. That's one thing we were talking about. We were just talking about the Hall of Presidents, and somebody came up with an idea of having take the presidents out and just make it all animals and stuff. They would base it on a ride that they had back in Disneyland back in the '70s during the bicentennial era. They still had the ride building for Carousel of Progress, but what they did is they made a show with animals, and it was patriotic, of course, being bicentennial. And eventually, the ride closed down, and they took the animatronics and brought it to their Splash Mountain. But something like that, where the Hall of Presidents now could be done. That would look similar to the old Mickey Mouse Review, which is now the Magic. But the Magic doesn't have animatronics like the Mickey Mouse Review. But I could see that a new version of that happening with the animals instead of the presidents in there. Presidents just make everybody divisive. I was telling the chat before that one day I went and somebody's yelling at the Trump animatronic, and somebody yelled back to him. It's the way he said it. It's an animatronic. You dummy's not real. Like like the animatronic was supposed to say something back in Trump's defense. There are people everywhere. Let us see what we shall see. Yeah, looks like we're down again. It happens. We're only new. That's why I'm like baby steps, baby steps. So we only been on for a couple weeks doing this because we eventually will start live streaming. I only go to the park once a month, but one of my members here who's also I call him my co-admin because he has access to come in here and he posts. He'll before he comes on, he asks for permission. That's hey, I appreciate it. He doesn't have to, but he wants to know if I'm on live streaming or something. He live streams from the park when he can, if he's up to it. And he could have done it a couple days ago, but he was with other friends and doing. I'm like, okay, that's no problem. And you'll probably see him. Oh, he's loved by a lot of people. He goes by the name Epcot Forever in the chat and other people's um, other people's live streams, like Tanya from that crazy Disney lady. He's one of her moms, and he hangs out with her. He hung out with her yesterday. She had a meetup. She had a meetup with him, and with members from her crazy crew, they're called, and he was there with her yesterday. Tanya's a good friend. Very, very, very pleasant lady. Always a trip to hang out with. Remember they had the fire and the Seven Dwarfs mine train when the new Fantasyland opened, and they didn't move it. They didn't move the fireworks launcher. I don't remember that. That's me though. But I do remember there being a fire over at the Tiki Room. Oh, you know what? Also, who was I watching? I was watching another stream for another vlogger, or live streamer. I want to put it because she doesn't vlog. Um, uh, oh God, what's her name? I haven't seen this woman. I haven't seen in a while, but she was Genevieve. Genevieve. She after COVID, she was hanging at Animal Kingdom, and there was a bird show was going on, and there, and I think it was India. They do the bird show. So what happens is, it was, I thought it was going to be the same cornball because they had a few months earlier they had changed it to some kind of kitty type of thing, and since COVID, and what happened is they didn't use that show again. They came up with an idea. Let's do this instead. We're not going to have many people. Let's try it, and it was a very good show. The animals and stuff. It wasn't, you're not sitting there watching Sesame Street the way I felt when they changed everything. And in that same show that they started back after COVID is still there. They accepted it. The management's like, keep it. Keep it. It actually brings in people now. I would like to do that live. I'd like to see that live. I mean, I don't go to Animal Kingdom much, but there are still a couple things I'd like to see in person. Especially with the morning show around 9 o'clock with all the parrots flying all over the place. My brother had one of those parrots, Scarlet Macaw. Her name was Scarlet. We had bought her for $800 from her original owner. Greg, if you ever went on those live streams, especially with Tanya, make sure you don't ever say anything, because you remember Gail. This is like Gail times 100. She's got a lot of moderators. Well, she's got 34,000 members, so it will, Plus, most of them are her friends. I guess for a long time there, I wanted to be one of her mods, and I was bummed out that I wasn't. And, I can tell you why. I felt she was only making her friends mods, and at that point in time, I'm like, I must not be a friend then and stuff. I feel bad about it. I've never told her that. I like to tell her that one day, but I don't want to end up hurting somebody like that. Not because I said something, that sounds offensive to another culture. Remember, the article about the fire. I gotta see this because this is the 10th anniversary of the Minecart ride, and I remember the first time I went on it. We stood in line a full hour and a half. Literally, the first hour and a half we stood in that long line in that heat. And the problem was the ride was only like 5 minutes long, but I love Minecart. Yeah, 2014. It's been 10 years. I remember going during the construction time when everything else opened, but the Minecart was still the last thing being constructed, and they actually had a small portion of window there, so you could actually look through to what kind of what they were building. And I could see trees planted, but there was no grass on the ground. A couple things you could see, like people still, they weren't there that day. I guess it was a Sunday I was there, and you could see the horses and where you cut the wood off and stuff. I mean, all the construction type thing were still all over the place, and it took them at least another year or so before they finished it. I guess from that point of view. Yeah, I kind of assumed it was the fire you were referring to. I don't remember why I don't, unless there was a small era, there was like a window where I wasn't into Disney um, during that time because my niece had gotten pregnant and we didn't go back to Disney. I mean, Star Wars weekends came and went. I had nobody to go with. And at that point in time, my boy Dwight was working there, and he hooked me up. And I wasn't even an annual pass holder. See, he hooked me up to get in the parks. We would hang around. Something ironic. I kept on saying last night I'd have to get back in touch with him because what going to happen is when we get this place that is situated with Zoom boxes and stuff, showing people our the windows and stuff. I'm not sure how do you turn it so everybody can see, but we will get to that because right now after I'm saying it, it's baby steps, baby steps, baby steps. So he came on. He was on Facebook, and I told him, I says, greetings, Dwight. I had last time I had seen him, I had a car accident a couple of years ago on the I-4 itself, 10 minutes away from Disney property, and instead of you know take another few minutes to go down, the car was totaled, and I wasn't going to take a taxi to go there. I live here in Newport Richey, which is north of Tampa, and it's about nowadays it's 2 hour drive because it used to be back in the day when we were like there was nobody in the area lived here. It used to be an hour and a half. I remember getting that. It took me literally one an hour and 30 minutes to get to Hollywood Studios one time, and so I wrote him. He hasn't got back to me, but I told him that I would be doing live streams now. He was an admin here a while back. And I said he was a cast member. He was in charge of the Pirates of the Caribbean store there. Wow. He eventually got married and they had a son. Yeah, I was talking about the way when I got in the accident. To put you together is I called him up. He lived in Haines City. In Haines City, basically the Haines City exit and stuff. There's a 7-Eleven, and that's where I was dropped off by the guy who was towing my car away. Uh, we never did get that car back or anything out of it that we needed. I did pick up a couple things that I used for work, and I was carrying it around. I was lugging it around with me. So I basically gave him $40. I says, I know. It says I have no way of getting home. So what? $20 for his gas and $20 for whatever he wanted to. He drove all the way back here. Close to not 2.5, about an hour and a half to 2 hour ride to come back that morning. But I haven't been on the I-4 since. I have a friend who takes me now. She takes the back roads. She knows all the back roads through farmland and everything. It takes about the same amount of time to get there as it does on the I-4. 2 hours. That's crazy. I guess it's more because I have that trip down south to get on to the I-4 from where I live. Greg, I think we are by ourselves now. Literally. I don't see nobody posting. I wish they had a retheme or reuse the old 20,000 Leagues into the Mermaid. See, that's stuff we think about, but they don't. They probably did, and thinking, the Little Mermaid and the sub never went together. But that way, I don't know if you ever were on the original, not the original, I should say original. If you went on the 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, there were mermaids on that ride. You could see the animatronics, sort of animatronics. And I'm very sure today, if they were underwater, there's two things they could do. They do the 20,000 Leagues still exists, but it's over in Japan and it's a different ride vehicle. And you look at the window, it looks like you're looking at water and stuff. Basically, I guess it's water what they have done is there's water inside the windows, and it makes it look like they are actually underwater. But you're in dry land and stuff. From what I've seen behind the scenes, it's real slick what they did. It looks like you're getting in submarine when it starts, but it's a lot different from when I was a kid. Yeah, it hadn't been decades for me as the only time that I was there. As I said, I remember that it was only one day, and I think we got there a couple months after Space Mountain was already built. It was totally brand new. People Mover, I think that had been up for a year. Yeah, because when they reopened, they had they the only things that were there were the Skyliner ended over in Tomorrowland and come back and went over to Fantasyland. The train, you could actually see the train. You could actually see the train back then um, from everywhere. There was no trees, no nothing to hide it behind. Um, the You could see from right now we know is the back through the Tomorrowland Speedway. Back then it was the Grand Prix something, and you could see the cars from that, and you could see in the background the train going by. I was like, wow, that's insane. I could see it everything way different back then. You remember when it closed? I think it closed in '94. That's what they were saying. Well, yeah, I guess because it kept them maintaining and stuff. I guess that's when I said no, no more. And the idea came up a couple years later more than a couple of years, almost a decade later, to redo all of Fantasyland. Let's see. It's 147. I would love to have stayed on to make it 2 hours, but it's just us two, Greg, and everybody has moved on. Other live streams and stuff, and probably got bored with us and said sayonara. So I just might as well just stop the stream for the night and get off this thing and go set up Disney World for tomorrow. Plus, go make myself a cup of coffee, a French vanilla coffee. Good. Greg, here's another idea too. If you want to, if you find something you want to talk about too, just bring it up. Bring it up tomorrow when we come on the stream, or either that or PM me in Disney Worlders. Anything like that. Well, I'm gonna take off, and if there's anybody here who was here and was just coming to just watch us, I say goodnight to everybody, and thank you all for being here. And it's Greg. It's gonna be like this for us for for a while until we get everything situated. I'm very sure we'll probably get more people on as soon as we look for more professional and it's just two people talking on chat. Yeah, live long and prosper. Good night.